Welcome back to Rated G TV. My name is Glennis, and you guys know you can call me G. We are back today, and we're going to be discussing another episode of Ready to Love. Today's episode is, of course, from Season 3, Episode 2. We'll be discussing the 20 singles selected to live at the resort, get into the interactions and see who connected from the get-go and who did not connect. At the end, we'll discuss the 2 individuals that were voted off the resort. Now, let's get into this episode. So the episodes start with Cal Funny, Joy, Denise, and Edwin. Those are the first 4 we see of the cast, or of the singles, I say. They're intermingling with each other. Now, one thing I do want to say is that I like Joy's outfit. She was cute with the big hair and the pink silky outfit, but it looks like it was kind of hot. She looked a little hot. However, I will say, and as we get into discussing all the guys in general, that Cal Funny looked like he was calm and collected. He came with a shirt and just jeans. He came comfortable, and I really like that about him. The next person that came on the scene was David. David reminds me of my uncle. I don't know if it's a southern thing. I am from Mississippi, even though I live in Atlanta, but he reminds me with that country accent, one of my uncles there in Mississippi. So he feels like family to me. So we get into the episode. We get introduced to them. They're the first ones we get to see, and then after that, the rest of the cast show up and starts intermingling with each other. I do want to get into and talk about Chris, aka KG Smooth, and Joy. Joy and Chris are friends. I think last season there was a group of friends as well. I think that was Divine and Chica. They knew each other just like Chris and Joy know each other from this season. So she's saying, hey, I'm gonna be there for you, Chris, Mr. KG Smooth. And then next we get to meet Adriana. Now, she came on in her dress. Her introduction was, I'm Adriana, I look good, I'm young, and my hair is swaying. I'm not gonna get no deeper into that, but I do want to get into a few comments that Adriana did say in her confessional. She said she can tell she was the youngest and that all the ladies that were older than her were giving her the side eye. Now, I don't know if it was editing and they just cut it to make it look like the ladies were staring at her, giving her the side eye. But I do want to say this, I don't think that's the case. I think they are on a dating show, and everybody that comes, and they're going to automatically look at you. Just like if I was to go into a restaurant, as soon as I walk in, a woman is going to glance at another woman. I'm not saying that she's sizing up her competition, but just looking to see what's coming, because that's their first time ever seeing you. She also goes to say that they have no reason to be intimidated by her, and that she's a confident woman and she can get anything, or anyone she wants. Well, I do want to say this. When you're a confident woman, you don't necessarily have to make any comments that was made. A confident woman just goes in as who she is. I don't think the age thing plays a part in any confidence. The ladies are only just a few years older than Adriana, but I do want to say the comment kind of turned me off a little bit, but maybe it's just that comment. The other guy and girl we see introduced with each other was Rashid and Denise. He introduces himself to Denise. I do want to say that scene was very cringy and awkward. I'm saying that because you can tell that Denise was not feeling Rashid at all. Now, she did say that he came in, super overly confident. It does seem like he was a little bit intimidated. Now, I do work in the industry and I am an editor as well as worked on a few sets. From our perspective, it looks like Rashid, you see Rashid comes on, it looks like he's interacting with other ladies before he interacts with Denise. It's a possibility that first interaction may have been with Denise, so it was a little awkward and he didn't know what to say. It just seems like she just knew from the jump that she wasn't interested with him, so it was just like, hey, I'm not gonna waste my time too much. Hey, it was nice to meet you. Guess you can go get me another drink, but that is it. Now, the next couple we see that interacts with each other was Chris, aka Mr. KG Smooth, and Naya, who is our hairdresser. Their connection seemed real. Like, it seemed like they just hit it right off the bat. So it seems like they had a lot of talk with each other, and they were very relaxed. It looks like there's gonna be a couple to watch. We also get into Simone. Simone is our attorney. I do want to say that I don't know if it was editing that kind of played Simone out in this episode. So it seems like she was questioning the guys like they were on trial. Like every guy she asked them, did they have a passport? Did they travel? What was the last place they traveled to? But to me, stuff like that can be off-putting, but she is an attorney, so maybe she doesn't know how to turn that off. Maybe that's a part of her micromanaging. I don't know. So we go to break and we come back and there's Adriana and Rashid. Now, Adriana says that she knows Rashid. They actually went on a date, and after the date, she ghosted him. I guess she had just got out of a relationship a month before that, and Rashid was newly divorced, and I guess it just didn't work out. As she was walking by, he happened to see her. You can tell he was excited to see her and that he seemed like he may be still feeling her. I do think it's kind of messed up to be ghosting someone and then all of a sudden they show up on the same show that you're on. Now, I can't talk about ghosting. I was very big on that. I am a person that sometimes I can be turned off quick. I have ghosted after I've gotten to know the person when I didn't like it. I have, however, stopped that. You know why, guys, I stopped that? Because it happened to me with a guy I actually like. I must have said something one night that he didn't like and he ghosted me. And so I kind of stopped ghosting people and just letting them know up front if I'm feeling you or if I'm not feeling you. But if I've already told you I'm not feeling you and you steady contacting me, then of course you're gonna get a ghost. But I stopped doing that because I was scared of karma. Then we get to meet Sam. He seemed really awkward and not confident in himself. So we get into Sam and it shows Sam and Shay speaking to each other. She made an excuse, which I found was very funny. She said, hey, you know, I've been drinking a lot of wine and I need some water. All the interactions that Sam has, he is very awkward and the conversation seems a bit bored and none of the ladies seem like they are connected. She says that Sam's fly doesn't meet her fly. I guess she's saying Sam is boring and this is not going to work out as every lady said. Guys, let's get into Jay and Joy. I actually like seeing Jay and Joy together. He called her Barbie and she said you must be Ken. They didn't give us too much of Jay and Joy in this episode. I guess there are a couple to watch that we have to keep our eyes on. One thing I want to say about Calfunny and Denise's interaction, they walk off from the group and they're sitting on the swings. And when they sit on the swings, she takes her shoes off and she puts her feet on his lap. And one thing I can say, because he didn't shy away from her, he seemed like he, got very close with her in that space. They seem very comfortable with each other from the jump. It looks like she's really into him and he's really into her. He did ask her about her past relationship and she did say that she was in an abusive relationship, but of course she has worked through that hurt and become the woman that she is. But I think Calfunny and Denise are a couple. They're rooting to see if they'll work it out together. That chocolate on chocolate, We're gonna see if they'll work it out together, but they are a couple to watch. One thing I have to say about Raymond is sometimes with women, you have to be careful of how much information you put out from the beginning. Raymond came out on the scene telling every lady from the jump that he has 5 kids. He's a musician and that he has toured and he plays with Tank and Genuine. Now, some ladies are gonna be turned off from the 5 kids comment from the jump. Now, he is 52 years old, so he's been around for a while. Remember, he had a pager, so, he's been dating since 85, 1990. He's telling the ladies from the jump that he's a musician. And it seems like the ladies are a bit turned off from that because musicians have a stereotype of they get around. I don't like is that they did stereotype him from the jump. Guys, we all have a past. We all had to mature. Just like me, I enjoyed life, hoeing. I wasn't hoeing in the streets, but I enjoyed life. You know, sometimes we get to an age where we kind of mature and decide, okay, I'm tired of this. I'm ready to settle down. And I think that's just what Raymond's case is. I do also want to say this, that I know a few musicians, and not all musicians cheat. I have an uncle who is a musician and he tours. One thing I can say, he is very faithful. His wife, as I spoke in my last episode about Ready to Love, his wife is very confident in herself, but he is never put out there or never been out there in that situation where he's put his marriage in jeopardy. You know, I hate that they get the stereotype because they're a musician, but I can say there are a lot of faithful musicians out there. They might be rare, but they are out there. We get to the scene and we see Denise and Anthony. There's a potential connection there with Anthony and Denise. I am looking and rooting for more Calfani and Denise, but a lot of ladies like Calfani, so there's going to be a lot of competition when it comes to him. Also get back to where we see Adriana and Raymond. Raymond says in his confessional while he's talking to Adriana, he prefers younger women. He said that's because they accept him for who he is, and it seemed like she's really feeling him as well. While Adriana and Raymond are talking, Rashid comes. Remember, he's the one that Adriana ghosted. Rashid comes, interrupts their conversation, and then we have Rashid and Adriana talking to each other. Now, guys, I just thought about this. Rashid, why were you wearing a wife beater in the confessionals and talking about some, Adriana, she looking good, What was up with that? What was up with that? Were you tired for the night? He probably was tired for the night, so I'm gonna leave you alone. It seems like they're at a point where they are actually trying to possibly reconnect. Now, we get to see David interact with Simone. So, Simone does what she does. She goes into her interrogation like David's on trial. She asks him, hey, do you got a passport? What do you do for a living? Do you have a trip you're planning on going? And he tells her, hey, I'm planning on going to the DR, to Dominican Republic. She says to him, oh, so you must be going for the hookers, the prostitutes. And he does this face like, really? Did you really just say that to me? He does say in his confessional that it was a bad first impression. So we get towards the end of the show, and nephew Tommy comes back. We see him talking to Rashid and Jay, and Rashid says that Denise is at his bottom because she's too aggressive. Now, I could be wrong. Rashid, if you're watching this, feel free to comment and tell me how you meant this, but I got it as if Rashid was saying that Denise was aggressively pursuing him. I just need an understanding of that because we all know pursuing is a verb, and I didn't see that happening. Nephew Tommy does talk to David. David says his bottom was Simone. He says she had a cute face, the body was it, but the conversation was trash. Then you get nephew Tommy. He is talking to the ladies, and of course the ladies have their bottom pick of the guys, but it seems like the ladies' favorite are Calfani, David, Edwin, and Jay. Now, if you watched my last video, I did talk about the top 3 that I felt that the ladies were going to be feeling the most. 3 of them the ladies did list, and that was Calfani, David, and Jay. I'm glad to see that I was right. Every time he gets everyone together, does tell everyone who the ladies put in their bottom 2. They put Raymond, the musician, and they put Sam. I didn't put this on my last video because I didn't want to be mean, who I automatically thought was gonna go home as far as the guys, but ultimately the ladies said they were not connecting with Sam. When I watched the casting special and I saw Sam in his interview, the only thing I said about Sam, I would show you my notes, was the first one eliminated. Maybe I should have said my prediction, but anyway, the ladies wasn't feeling Sam. So the guys put Simone in the bottom because of her conversation with them, and then Danny. Now, ultimately, Danny was the one that the guys felt like they didn't have any connection with. Now, what I didn't like about why they said why they were not feeling her is because all the guys said that Danny reminds them of the homie. So I'm a little bit confused. It's either too much conversation that, you know, you feel like the lady is the homie, or the conversation is trash. What do you guys want? You gotta decide. I don't see anything wrong with someone or being referred to as a homie. I do feel like a friendship is a good foundation to a relationship. It looked like her and David were feeling each other actually, so I was a little shocked. I thought like having that homie relationship with someone in a relationship that you can talk to, you guys can be funny, you can joke. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. I don't know. I can't be that old school because I'm younger than some of the cast, but you know. Anyway, help me understand. Leave your comments, guys. Help me to understand this. That is all for the show today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of new videos to come. Thank you so much for hanging with me. See you soon.